Alright, welcome back to Close Enough Garage. Today we're painting. Well, we're going to prime at least. After I was told everything was scuffed, I had another 2 hours plus of scuffing and cleaning and everything else to get through. It's been a nightmare. I hate prep work, but it is the most important part of the paint job. So what we're going to go over today is your ground coat. I use almost completely Createx products. This is a Createx Auto-Borne Sealer. Now, primer, go over metal. Sealer goes over plastic, metal, fiberglass, all that shit. And the reason I like Createx is because, number one, it's what I've worked with before. It's what I'm comfortable with. Number two, it's so low impact and simple. You can cut it with water. I've done that when I was in a pinch airbrushing stuff before, because I actually started using them for airbrush paints. Normally, I will use one of their branded reducers. Hopefully that focuses. But the product itself is amazing. I'm going to say right now, I'm not being paid by Createx. I'm not sponsored by them. I got no dogs in this fight, so if you want to argue with me, go ahead. I'm not even going to listen to it. But this stuff is almost foolproof as far as paint systems go. It self-levels. So, like when you go to paint it on, you get that dimpled orange peel effect. You don't get that with Createx. It self-levels, smooths out, dries fast as glass, or dries smooth as glass. Another good thing is there's no recoat windows. A lot of times you'll get a paint system where it says, you know, you have to apply your next coats within an hour, 2 hours, whatever, or wait 72 hours and then scuff it and come back and paint again. You don't get that with this. And I love it because, like today, I can lay the sealer, and then I might lay the silver base coat. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how I feel, but lay the sealer out, come back 3 hours later, lay another coat, go cook some dinner, take a shower, relax on the couch, come back 5 hours later, throw another coat down, you know, and come back 2 weeks after that, throw a third coat on. You know, however you want to do it, it is very open. It is all waterborne. It's all acrylic. The one thing I will say is they have different clear coats. Those clear coats are only sign grade. They're not solvent resistant. They're not very strong for chips or scratches. They make an amazing inner coat, which would be the clear coat that you lock in metal flake with or separate colors with or whatever else. They're awesome for that. I do still use a catalyzed 2K urethane clear coat for the top coat on a project. That being said, this stuff, it goes on real simple. What I'm going to end up doing is I reduce it 5 to 10%. It's kind of cooler temperatures right now, about 65 degrees. We're low humidity. So I'm going to dump it into the paint cup. I'm going to mix it in, maybe reduce it 3-4%. I'm going to take a guess, just squirt a little bit in there. It doesn't have to be exact. Run it through a paint filter into my gun and start laying it down. And I might get to show you guys some of that. I'm real iffy about painting one-handed, so we'll see how that goes. But that's really all there is to it. It'll be dry to the touch within 10 minutes or so. Ready to recoat as soon as it's dry to touch. So like I said, it's a very simple system. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up shooting the inside of everything first, because number one, it's been a while since I've used this paint gun. I don't really remember how I've got it set up, if I got it set up right or anything. I did my best already, but to fine tune it, I'm going to shoot where nobody sees first, and then come back through and lay everything on what I'm going to call the pretty side, where everybody's going to see it. That brings me to my next thing. We got paint guns here. This is a super cheap 1.4 millimeter tip Amazon HVLP. And guys are going to laugh about this because they're out there doing this professionally, where I'm just a hobbyist. They're rocking, $1,000 paint guns and stuff like that. I'm not that guy. I don't have it like that. And the whole point of this is doing it on a budget anyway. So we got this. I run it. Motorcycle parts are small. There's not a lot to them. So I do it all off a 21-gallon Husky compressor. Never had a problem with it. It starts for air if you're running the piss out of it, but typically you're not going to do it like that anyway. I've not had any issues. I do run the regulator on the compressor. Say if I need 30 PSI at my gun, I'll set that one to 80. Right off of that, I've got a water trap. That one's also got a regulator on it. I'll set that at like 55, somewhere around there. And then I'll set my final on my gun and put my water trap in line. I run another water trap up here. I'll set my final on the gun at 30 PSI. So if that's what I need, that's where it ends up being. Another thing, you've got your fan control, you got your trigger control. Usually I like to set my trigger based on how much it's laying, because I just want to do an on and off button. I'm not airbrushing. I do that as a hobby. I've probably shown you guys some of my shit before, and I've got real fine control of that. When I'm using this big, stupid, heavy guy equipment, man, I'm just on and off. That's all. I don't care. So I'll set the needle, how far that travels based on how much I need, but usually I do it pretty wide open. You got your air control here. I leave that open. You regulate your air through the regulators themselves, and then don't worry about it. Your fan control, what that's going to look like is you're going to have your fan setting. Your fan's usually going to lay kind of a pattern like this. And you adjust that fan control based on the materials you're spraying, so you kind of maintain a tight pattern like that. You can open it up a little bit, whatever. But if you're getting a whole lot of spotting and particulates and all that shit of paint outside of that, it's not going to be a very clean spray. Tighten it up a little bit, try to keep it in there. That's really all the pointers I have to give on that. As I said, I'm a hobbyist, guys. I'm not professional. Gun setup, all that stuff, I just do my best. And that's what I'm hoping to teach you guys, is how y'all can do your best too. So I'm going to get into a couple things about masking right quick, and then we'll get started on this. So let me grab you here. All right, masking. I see on a lot of groups, forums, all that stuff, guys will mask their tanks off, and then their fuel valve, they end up getting paint lifting real heavy around that. Mask your fuel valve. That can be metal to metal because it's getting a gasket in there anyway, or it's threading on in the case of this one. You got your tank vent here. I masked that off too. That's going to stay bare metal. A big one is guys saying their paint's peeling up around the filler cap. You'll notice here, it's not even, I don't care, it won't show, because your gas cap hides all that. But about a 1/16 of an eighth of an inch away from the actual rim of your filler cap here. And what that's going to do is that's going to create a barrier where not only will the paint or the fuel not get under the paint, but the fumes as well, because that's a big thing. So you'll run your whole paint job with it masked like this, and then from there, once you get it done, you're going to come back through, you're going to tape that off, hit it with clear epoxy, clear nail polish, whatever, to seal it up to the rim, and that's how you keep the gas from getting under that. So I'm going to get to laying some primer on these, and then hopefully I might be done for the day, and I will talk to y'all later when I'm done with that. Okay, so y'all bear with me here. Got my respirator on, gloves, I'm covered for the most part at least. That's just how I like to be. It's how I've always liked to do it, because I like my lungs. These 3M respirators are like $35, so it's not even a big deal. But told y'all I'd get you in for a couple of shots while I'm painting, so we'll go ahead and do that. We'll show you nice smooth coats, up, down,
follow through with it from end to end, so that way you're not getting light coats on the top and bottom. Another tip I've got going over here, when you're waiting between coats, go ahead and wrap your gun in a trash bag or a grocery bag. It'll keep the tip from drying out and all that stuff and getting dry paint everywhere. So let me grab you again and I'll bring you into where I'm at and kind of give you a point of view here. So grocery bag's off, got a gun. And here we'll go. It's real smooth. You're not going to get full coverage in one pass. It does like to move. Usually I've got my other hand there to steady it. But I'm showing y'all the best I can. And just keep rocking it. We'll get up inside all that. Well, I got to put you down because I can't steady the part and do this at the same time.
So, there's just a couple more things I wanted to go over real quick before I finish this video up. For garage preparation, I take my air hose, my compressor, I turn it up, I go through and blow all the dust off of everything out here. And then as you see, I hang my parts from the ceiling so they're not near the floor. They're not picking up any dust from the floor. You walking around dragging shit, because in a garage like mine, you're never going to get it completely clean. Another thing you can do is wet your floor down. That's going to keep all the dust tacked to the floor. Just give it a quick spray, get it all uniformly damp. Another really important point I wanted to make about painting before I finish this video is the TDS. That's your technical data sheet. Every paint on the planet that is sold to the general public has a TDS. Doesn't matter if it's Createx, House of Color, Sherwin-Williams, PPG, U-Paul, it's all of it has a TDS. And it's going to save almost every question you have about that variety of paint and how you're supposed to use it if you just go right into Google and search, well, I don't have my bottle over here. Let's grab some. We got some Finish One Reducer here. Acme Finish One Reducer TDS. And it'll bring up a sheet that's going to tell you what temperature range it's best used in, what humidity range, how much to reduce it, what size nozzle to spray it out of, what pressure it likes, what its dry and recoat and cure times and all that stuff are, how long before you can sand it, how long before you can mask over it. That's all going to be included in the TDS. That's vital information, and also it's going to stop you from jumping online and flooding groups with the same questions like, hey man, how long between coats on this House of Color? You know, go read the TDS, bro. It's right there. It'll tell you, wait this long before coats or tack up and all that stuff. You know, so it's one of the most vital tools you'll ever have as a painter. Learn it, use it. It's there just to help you. Of course, you have your other stuff, your MSDS, that'll give you all the chemical information, your respirator, how many microns you need to filter down to. I don't know, I run the N95s and don't worry about that. But the TDS, I still, every time, even if I've used the paint 100 times, pull it up, Createx, Wicked Colors Opaque Black. And Wicked is now a rebrand of their former Autoborn line. The Createx Wicked line of paint is automotive grade. But I'll type that into Google, it'll pull it up, it'll tell me, yeah, it's best used between, 55 and 85 degrees, no more than 80% humidity, whatever it is it needs. it's going to tell you right there on that paperwork. So make sure you make good use of that because, you know, it's right there for you. I'm going to go ahead. I got one more coat to lay down on these surfaces to get them, have them primed and ready for tomorrow. I was going to lay the silver base coat down too, but all of my large paint mixing cups have walked away. So I got to run to the store tomorrow morning and grab some more of those too. Then I'm going to start working mostly on the outside of everything. Probably overspray into the inside, but I'm not too worried about it because actually once this paint job's done, I'm going to go ahead and lay, I got Herculiner, truck bed liner. So over the primed insides of the fenders, bottom of the tank, all that, I'm actually going to lay truck bed liner on it just because it keeps it from getting damaged, scratched up, scuffed, rusted, all that shit, and it just makes the bottom of the project a little bit tougher. And that's the part nobody ever sees anyway, unless you've got some guy at a show who's going to walk right up and start looking under your front fender with a flashlight and all that. You need to slap that dude anyway because he shouldn't be up there like that. So, yeah, I'm going to drop all the pretty shit on the pretty side, and I'm going to drop the bed liner underneath of all the parts. As far as that goes, you know, thank you all for tuning in again. Thank you for bearing with me, watching this, learning. Hopefully we taught somebody something else today. Hopefully we've helped somebody else today. I really appreciate you guys. Go ahead, do the whole like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Be safe out there. Keep it on two wheels. Stay sane, man. Y'all have a good one.